I find when you have a flaw in your technique, to me there's five exercises of Yang style Tai Chi Chuan. Form, there's basic push hands, there's 3-step push hands, there's Dalu, and there's Sanshou. When you discover a flaw that you're doing consistently in any one of these exercises, the trick is go back to the first place it appears. The most primitive exercise you can find which you still have the flaw. Well, unfortunately, you'll find even in my Sanshou students, frequently you have to go back beyond Penglu Jian, even more elementary, to one-hand pushing. And you find that the error is here. And if the error is here, if you can't do it right there, you're never going to do it right doing something more complex at the same time. So, as I say, take it back to the simplest place. Now, what is the error? The error is, it might be a lot of errors. For instance, it might be breaking your back. So if you take the person back to here, and he doesn't break his back, you say, okay, now let's do Penglu Jian. And now see, now maybe that's where he breaks his back. So that's where you work on. In other words, where you find the error first appearing. Most people, when they're neutralizing, they find it almost impossible to keep from pushing away a little bit. Okay. Now this is what produces the elbow. That produces, and that's the 3 old changes. Right? So then she pushes me aside, and she gives me this, and this is the 3 old changes. So when you turn your waist, first of all, you got to understand the part of the pusher here is deliberately not a straight line. He's not trying to push in like this. He's trying to turn you this way, and then see if you can reverse the turn like this. So he's making you practice this move, which is a very useful move for people who are swinging at you. I promise. It's like, whoa. That's what you're cultivating. So realize you have to help them cultivate it. So you have to turn them this way, and then come in and go like this. So you have to think, what do I want this body to do? And that's what causes it. But what will always happen if you're not trained is, do it to me now. She's trying to do this. But here, she feels as I turn, pressure back here. In other words, I'm not completely inking like this. Now that pressure may come from sort of the upper body, or it may come from a smaller place as and I'm like, I'm really listening, I'm turning, but I'm also kind of going like this with my fingers at the same time. So you've got to finally get it completely out so that this stays completely round until it is totally neutralized and pushed. Okay? So that I no longer have to push her back. She reaches the end itself. And if that happens, then when you do a rollback, it stays. As she pushes me this way, so I'm completely neutralizing this. Now I just add this. So that's all we've done is just add this other technique, and you've got, a real wooden ball technique.
So the elbow happens when the person doing ward off does not really ward off and empty completely.
Yeah, it's empty. He's still warding off. I mean, that's, once we can call that is a ward off. You block the thing. Right? But make contact. Thousands of hours of training takes over, and this little wave happens. And this, here's the real secret. I guess I'll leave you with this today. But this, which looks like a rehearsal of a great big long push, is actually just a rehearsal of the muscles that you use if she punches. Yeah, that little circle that happened. Mm-hmm. So that instead of this is just me being crude and blocking her. She reaches the elbow, but instead, so even if she tried to elbow her, I'd be listening to it. In other words, it gives me a lot of training about what to do when I feel any kind of contact and force. It's this reflex of receiving it. The rest is the sophistication of how you receive it. And the way to do it is to make Tai Chis. When you make Tai Chis, then your reception of the force becomes completely, how can I put it, rational. Your body can do rational things, but only if you keep the rules of form.